Most preachers don't learn how to talk to elders about money in school. They learn it the hard way. In this episode, as well as the last, I start with my own bad example and trace the lessons that came from awkward questions, unspoken assumptions, and embarrassing moments. From unpaid vacations to refusing a raise out of fear, to discovering the wisdom of written agreements, this is an honest, practical conversation about money, trust, and leadership. If you're a preacher, an elder, or anyone who cares about healthy church relationships, this episode may save you years of confusion and a few sleepless nights.
Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
Brian Oldfield is credited with the statement, "No man is entirely worthless. He can always serve as a bad example." I'll begin by telling you how I did it wrong. The church where I did my first work had never had a full-time preacher. We didn't talk much about money. The elder said they thought I'd need $100 a week. I said I'd take it. We lived on a budget and made it. After 9 months, I requested a week off for a vacation. Gail asked me how we'd make our car payment. I told her it's in the budget. Her reply, "They won't pay us for the week we're gone." My response, "Everybody knows you get a week or 2 off a year for vacation." Gail was right. When I returned without a check for the week, I asked the elders what their policy was regarding a preacher taking a week off for vacation. Would there be any pay? They said they had never had a preacher and they didn't have a policy. One elder said he didn't do nothing, don't give him nothing. They agreed. I learned it's good to talk about things like that before you start. When I moved to the next church, we agreed on vacation with pay, weeks off for gospel meetings, and reimbursement for lectureship expenses. They said if they asked me to leave or I decided to go to another church, they'd pay me for 90 days or until I moved to another location, whichever came first. I had a larger salary. It was good. My first conflict about money in that church came when elders offered me a raise. I was so afraid of talking about money that I refused it. I scared people would think I was preaching for money. I'll put a link in the show notes about that. The elders were kind and understanding. A few months later, they asked me if I'd help them. I was glad to do that. What was it? They said people were asking if they'd given me a raise. They hadn't because I refused it. They said it'd really be helpful to them if I'd accept a few more dollars each week. I wanted to please, and reluctantly, I accepted more money. In 1971, when our second baby was born without insurance, the elders approached me again. They told me my raise for the year was to join Farm Bureau, take out Blue Cross Blue Shield family health insurance, and the church would pay for it. That was our first insurance. About 7 years after moving there, I began to feel a pinch in my finances. I was scared. I dreaded it, but I asked for a raise. I approached the elders by showing them our budget. I listed each category along with the amount we had been spending and what we thought we needed to spend. I told them I needed the amount in each category or advice on how to buy those items for less money. They gave me a raise. That was my first mature conversation with elders about money. I was fortunate to have been treated well by kind elders. As I was leaving that congregation, someone asked, Are we paying Jerry every Sunday he's running around all over the country trying to find a job? The treasurer said they were. Next question. What about it, Jerry? My answer. When I came here 8 years ago, the elders and I agreed that I'd be paid up to 90 days to relocate if they asked me to leave or if I resigned. Only one of the three elders who agreed was still alive. Someone asked him, "What about it, brother?" He answered, "It seems like we talked about that, but I don't remember what we said." That's the first time I thought it would have been good to have written agreements. Since then, my philosophy on written agreements is the only people who don't need written agreements are people who are never going to die and who'll never forget anything. Others need to write it, sign it, file it, back it up to Dropbox, copy it to an external hard drive, put it in the cloud with the original in a safety deposit box. The treasurer had been with the congregation since its inception. After some discussion, he said, "Brethren, we've had this 90-day agreement with every other preacher. We paid them when they were relocating, and we'll pay Jerry." The person asking the question was satisfied, and the discussion ended. That was close and embarrassing. In the next church, I had my first written contract and job description. The agreements about finances. 1. The salary will be $450 per week, 52 weeks per year. 2. The church shall pay all Social Security. Actually, church can't pay a preacher Social Security, but they can give him money to pay it. He pays it, counting it as additional income. It'd be ready for January 15, April 15, June 15, and September 15 quarterly estimated payments to the IRS. 3. The church shall pay all medical insurance. 4. A cost of living adjustment will be made each year. 5. A merit raise will be considered annually, and the reasons for granting or not granting it will be discussed. At the end of the first year, I received a cost of living adjustment, but no merit raise and no discussion. I talked to one of the elders. "I know I don't deserve a merit raise. If I had, you'd have given it to me. Please tell me what I need to do to receive a merit raise." Soon he told me the elders discussed it and thought that I should have a merit raise. That was helpful. My experience is that written agreements by themselves don't solve all problems. People forget. Each party must hold the other party responsible. Over the next decade, the process proceeded smoothly with minimal discussions about finances. The time to talk about money is before the church pays the preacher his first check. A contract settles conflicts before they start. Specify vacation time, days off, time off for gospel meetings, workshops, summer series, and lectureships. When someone questions or forget, read the agreements. Everyone's memory will be the same after referring to the written word. Preacher should ask for what he wants and needs. Different churches have different policies and personalities. Always enjoyed a Christmas bonus. Gail and I used the money to take a short getaway between Christmas and January 1. Some churches give a gift at Christmas. I moved to a church where Santa Claus didn't come. One year, as we discussed upcoming agreements, the elders informed me of my raise. I thanked them, then asked for a $10 decrease per week. They agreed. I asked them to give me a check for $520 on the Sunday before Christmas. We were all happy. Money is a powerful subject. It's a good way to predict how we'll get along on other issues. It's essential to discuss thoroughly when consider working with a church. Continue to develop your ability to discuss this topic and other vital issues in your relationship with elders and others. After more than 64 years of preaching, I offer this wisdom. When elders offer you a raise, don't say no. Say, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Ministry League Network. Ministry League is a global platform dedicated to equipping Christians with the tools they need for ministry, worship, and personal growth. Featuring over 50 podcasts created by members of the Lord's Church, Ministry League provides uplifting and biblically sound content for all ages. Through the Ministry League app, you can access these podcasts, a digital songbook for worship, free Bible study materials, curriculum, and other ministry resources to strengthen your walk with Christ. Don't miss out on the latest updates and podcast episodes. Subscribe to the Ministry League YouTube channel for daily content and exclusive insights into the work of the Lord's Church, or visit ministryleague.com to explore what's possible. Ministry League, equipping you for every good work. Thank you for listening. Jerrie looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.